Howdy out there. I'm Daniel J. Newman of Burning Bushes. You know, before I created Burning Bushes, I used to review alcohol all the time. I was a deep alcoholic. And a lot of people actually started watching my videos because of that. And I'm glad they got to see the evolution and everything that it leads to. Well, I'm going to do a classic one. I'm going to do a bathroom review yet again. And, I appreciate comedy, and hopefully you all do too. Uh, so, Bush NA. Yeah, I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, wow, Dan, this is the most cringe thing ever. You're in a bathroom sitting on a toilet seat. I'm actually fully aware of what I'm doing right now. For your benefit. A lot of people get that twisted. All right, anyway, this is Bush NA for Bush North America. Brewed in the USA, that's why it's called NA for North America. Look it up. Anheuser-Busch St. Louis Mo. Anyway, this is less than 0.5% alcohol by volume, which is essentially no alcohol at all. They can't say that there's absolutely nothing because, there could be a little bit in there, and you know how the laws are and those restrictions and the lawyers. So there might be a tiny hint in here, but trust me, this has less alcohol in it than kombucha. And that's considered to be healthy for you, even if you have liver disease. So this might be very useful for people out there trying to quit alcohol, or they have liver disease like I do, but you still like the taste of beer. So let's open it up. On the nose, I smell barley. And something else, I don't think it's rice, but it could be. There's some kind of grain in there that reminds me of rice. It's been forever since I drank beer. Let me try it first out of the can. Okay, first impressions. Way more carbonation than I expected. A lot more. And that's actually kind of a good thing. This is something lacking in non-alcoholic beers. I think the reason is because this is actually a harder process. And by all accounts, by logistics and just the materials and energy and work that goes into it, these ought to cost more than normal beer. What the alcohol industry has done is they try to sell this at about the same price as normal beer in the interest of alcoholism. And that they can say that they have something that is healthy for you to drink, which I think is actually a pretty clever move. But they're taking a hit on these things because they need to make the beer, then they need to isolate out the alcohol. And guess what? Somewhere in that process, you're going to miss out on that natural carbonation. So just like with ice beer, they're going to have to recarbonate it most of the time, if not all the time. I'm not a scientist. But this has a lot of carbonation to it. And it does remind me of what Bush originally tasted like from my memory, which is faulty because it's been over a year since I've drank Bush. So, the flavor here is sharp, has a very sharpness to it, and then as it opens up, you get a sort of mouthfeel, slightly metallic, but mostly you're getting a nice barley taste. Liquid bread. It's what people want in a light beer or just a standard American lager. There's not too much to say here other than this tastes pretty much like an American lager. Let's try it out of a glass here and get a little more scientific. So first I'm going to do a gentle pour. And take a look here. Darker in yellow than I expected, for sure. You can definitely see that carbonation. Those tinier bubbles shows me that this is artificially carbonated afterwards, much like sooty pop, which is fine. That's not an issue. Beautiful color, actually. Out of the glass, it tastes phenomenally better. It tastes like a real beer. The only thing missing here would be some kind of bite from the alcohol, but if we're all honest with ourselves, is there really a bite to beer? I mean, at least something like what normally Bush would be, what? Maybe it's 5%? All right, let's do an aggressive pour. Here's the head here. I will not expect much on the head. because I suspect this is artificially carbonated. And yet, as you can see, it's not doing too bad. It actually kind of looks like a beer. I mean, it is beer, but you know what I mean. The sound is like Rice Krispie treats. I mean, clearly artificially carbonated. Absolutely no lacing. Wouldn't expect it. Again, just by the process of isolating the alcohol, they're fighting an uphill battle to make something taste like real beer. There's like a science to this stuff. And Busch has come in it pretty late. They're Anheuser-Busch, though. So they're Budweiser, basically. Budweiser's inferior cousin is the Busch. And people swear by it. People love Busch. Yeah. What else did I want to do? Excuse me, I forget like the test that I used to do. Excuse me. So far, this gets a good review. Drinkability test. I forgot about that. I feel like in hindsight, that was an excuse just to drink alcohol fast. But here goes. Absolutely drinkable. No weird aftertaste. If anything, there's a slight metallic taste to it that is extremely berried, and it actually tastes good. Like, you want that, I think. Most people would like it. It would feel kind of off if it didn't. It just tastes like a good canned average American lager. And for that reason, I'm going to give this Busch NA a 9 out of 10. It's definitely impressed me more than most of these non-alcoholic beers, including Heineken. I think this is way better than Heineken. Heineken has some weird mouthfeel taste to it that wouldn't have really hit on if I didn't try this first, try something better. This kind of raises it to a new standard, I think. Busch NA is kind of like, I would put this as like, all right, this is what you want, and can it get better? Most things are going to be worse, and that's why it gets a 9 out of 10. I definitely would buy it again. The other thing to try out is I bought some Old Milwaukee, so stay tuned for that. Also, Copenhagen, I found some wintergreen pouches, so we're going to do that. Not necessarily in the bathroom. Excuse me. I wanted to do the bathroom review I like to kind of go back and try to remind people of where I came from to where I am now. And there's an evolution there. And you'll notice that the pacing of my growth, of being a better person, I would hope, is through orthodoxy. It changed everything, and it's changing everything about me so quickly that people are concerned. But this is actually a good thing. And I'm not here to preach to you and say you should believe in Christ or go to an Orthodox church. But I would like to, in which case you should watch my live streams. But I will tell you, burning bushes, it came from a long way. Before burning bushes, I was burning myself, drinking Busch beer. Yeah, that's a clever thing. I didn't even think of that until just now. So now you know, 9 out of 10. It was very affordable. That's the other thing. Like, really, maybe it should be more like a 9.5 out of 10 if you include the price. Because I've heard at Sam's Club and Costco, you can get these things for super cheap. Or like Target, I think, has them. Like, this is going to be the way to go. And I don't know how many other people are looking at trying to cut back on alcohol, but still like the taste of beer. I am one of those. A lot of people didn't believe me. And you're gonna deal with that, unfortunately. If you're a former alcoholic, people will say if you get non-alcoholic beer, that's going to make you go back to drinking alcohol. It absolutely won't. If you have quit and you want to quit, nothing is going to stop you. You could be triggered. You could be all this other stuff. Everything can happen around you. You could live with an alcoholic and still not drink. I know these things. So never give up hope. For me, I couldn't have done it without God, but for you, maybe it's something else. But if you do eventually decide to quit drinking or just want to cut back a little bit on your alcohol intake, but you're not worried about calories, good way to go. Also, fun note, during fasting season. These things are great to just get some calories, liquid calories. It's pretty cool. Anywho, that's enough for me for now. I want to remind everybody that subscribing to the channel is a good idea because I also make music. I'm putting out a nativity album, but there's a bunch of other albums that are already out. I make music almost every day, and I do live streams quite a lot, depending. So you have a wonderful day. I hope this review helped you out. Take care of yourselves. Let me get a little close up on this. 9 out of 10. Get it.